So now let us see a few basic examples. Maybe we'll create a similar program itself for the unit. So let us just go back to our spider, and maybe let me just save a new file. Will the skeleton code. uh, okay, so save as. So let me save as maybe price calculator. Okay, and I would like to use namings. So again, here your file naming, file system naming with respect to Windows over here also follows similar to the naming what I'm using. So here it should start, it can start by a number, whereas in Python it doesn't start with a number. Okay, so we'll try to do that also. So basically let us try that first. So let me tell 2 is equal 2a is equal to 5. So it is showing invalid syntax, but I can declare a is equal to 5. Okay, so let me just ignore this. So let me just clear that. So then over here we'll concentrate on the price calculator now. So maybe we'll add few comments. It is always better to add comments. So basically this is our first application code. So this is a Python comment uh, in my first Python application. Okay, so we are actually creating a code which will create an application. So here let us declare a variable known as quantity. Okay, so quantity equal to, you can give an integer, so maybe we'll give 10. And also we are using spaces over here between the operators. So for this we are using pep style. Okay, so if you are interested how exactly the coding formatting everything is used, so we are using pep 8. Okay, so that is the code format which I like. I use mixed up format but not exactly with respect to pep 8, but I tend to follow with respect to pep 8 format. So basically it will tell you need to have space over here, having space over operators. So again, Python will not give you any syntax error if you don't follow this, but this is a coding format which generally is followed by a lot of developers. Okay, so we have declared our quantity. So maybe you can call, you can declare quantity as 5 also, or maybe 10 also, so it doesn't matter. So we can change that, and also we can see. So now let us let us give more information of the next quantity. Maybe this is will declare float type for our unit price. So this maybe this is a variable, or you can tell this variable contains, this variable contains a float. Okay, you can declare that. So basically here we'll call it as unit price itself. So again, for example, here I was telling 2 under 24 underscore a. So here equal to 5, I'm declaring it over here so that error can be shown as it is. So if at all you declare that over here to 1 unit underscore price, so let us declare is something like 25.25. Okay, so let me just run this quickly. So it will automatically save and run. Here it is telling syntax error. So I'm using a console for quick calculation. So even a developer who is working on a large project over here, and he or she has any kind of doubts whether am I working on correct, or maybe a small part of the code, whether he needs to testify whether it is correct or not, he can just verify over here itself. So the debugging process is already done over done in the console itself for a very quick calculations. Okay, so let me just delete that. So here unit price is 25.25. Okay, and we have 10 units, so that should be multiplied. Now again, we can have another variable. You can have spaces, or you need not to have spaces, I mean with respect to new lines. So again, avoid new lines. Okay, so here we can tell again this variable. Now we will be having the result, right? So this variable uh, contains result of the multiplication. Okay, so I think that is sufficient of the information. Maybe you can tell multiplication of quantities and unit price. Okay, you can write go ahead and write the command, but it is not that much required. And the program is self-explanatory over here. So a good programmer will write might not write a lot of comments, but rather a self-explanatory code. Okay, so I have a lot of typos. So these typos will be recognized by our this one, but whereas it goes unchecked with respect to our comments. Okay, so here we'll be having we'll use the same name, extended price. X E N E X E C is giving some kind of command. Here you can see already it is giving me over here itself the help menu. Okay, so you can go ahead and hover your mouse over here. Okay, so it is not giving me anymore. So maybe let me just delete that and give it in. So here you can see it is giving me information. Click anywhere in the tooltip to have additional help. Okay, it is retrieving documentation over here. So this is the new feature which I had not come across in the previous version which I had worked on with Spider. Okay, so let us continue. As I was telling, we'll use the same name, extended price. Okay, so quick reference of documentation is here. Maybe you can search over here itself, type. No, it is searching within the document, I guess. Okay, so okay, it is not searching for documentation over here. Maybe home. Okay, tutorial, distilling a lot of things, help, variable. So you can go through this also. It will give a lot of information, especially at the beginning. So here you can see the all the files which I have in the same folder itself. So it is getting from this folder. Okay, so plots, variables which you have already stored. So these variables are coming from our I have not restarted my kernel, right? So it is storing my variables over here. So that is an helpful tip over there. Okay, so I leave the rest of the tool exploration for you guys. Okay, so let us finish up with our application code. So quantity multiplied with unit price. Okay, so again it is showing me good auto completion that it is a variable which I have already declared. So you can just give enter, so that will continue. And finally, let us print out the value. Basically here we are calculating and we are not printing the result. So let us just add a comment as show the result. Okay, so print extended. So again I have a typo, so let me just quickly correct that, extended price. Okay, so let me just save the file and execute it. Here it is telling 252.5. so maybe you have in terms of dollars, which does not make sense, but still if you want to print dollars, so at that scenario you can have $sign printed over here followed by a comma. Okay, so this will perfectly work. Okay, let me just save it and run. So here it is telling $255.5, 252.5. Okay, so this is an example where you can add. So even comma is like kind of adding two things, but you can use plus also. So this is for concatenation, but it will throw back an error telling we are trying to add a string with a float. Okay, so basically that is addition with respect to floats numbers. So as I was telling, a equal to 5 plus 5 can be given. Okay, so that perfectly works and it is updating 10 over here. But if I want to add AB with CD, which I missed out in the previous session, so even strings can be added. So it is always better to code and learn. Okay, so so here you can see it is joined ABCD. So this is a concatenation operator which we had not discussed. So it is always better to bring up such topics. So this addition won't work, whereas I'm using a comma. So basically I'm not adding it, but I am printing different elements. Okay, one after the other. So this comma also will give me a space. Okay, so this space over here is generated because of this comma. Okay, so that's it for this video. In the next session we'll be discussing more about Python, maybe syntax. Okay.